Hi everybody. I'm going to demonstrate the Telera Rolls for the Torta. I've already made the dough for you, and you can see it's really beautiful right now. It's a pretty soft dough. I used King Arthur flour. Now the dough recipe is 525 grams of King Arthur AP flour. You can use other AP flour if that's what you have. 2 teaspoons of instant yeast, 1 ounce of sugar, 45 grams of butter, 1.5 teaspoons of salt. And I kind of melted the butter about halfway, got it really soft. As long as it's like room temperature, that would be fine. So the dough, I'm going to cut this, and okay, the dough, just straight dough method. I let it knead for about 8 to 10 minutes in a KitchenAid mixer. I'm going to portion this out to 5-ounce portions. You can do, you can make them smaller if you want. And I have my bench here just lightly floured. It is a little sticky, so it is like a somewhat of a soft dough. You don't want it too stiff because then the roll is going to be too stiff and too hard to eat. This is a really kind of a nice soft roll for making tortas, making sandwiches. So you don't want something, and traditionally, like tortas they're more of a street food. You're kind of walking, eating it possibly with one hand. You just don't want it to be too hard to eat and pull the meat from the bun if the bun is too hard and so forth. So we just measure that, and then we're just going to roll them. You don't need really any flour. You want that dough to stick to the table. Okay. I just kind of like to give it a little bit of a tuck. Should be nice and tight underneath. If you can't roll that well, you can always just fold under. And once you get something that's pretty round, then you can just kind of turn it 1/4, pull back, use your sides of your hands, turn it so it kind of tucks itself. And as long as you still get that nice tight bottom, that's what we're looking for, okay? We're going to let these rest for about 20 minutes, and then I'm going to come back and show you how to create the shape of the Telera rolls. Okay, everyone. So it's been about maybe 25 minutes. The dough is nice and rested, relaxed the gluten, nice and puffy. Now, what we're going to do, I have some oil. This is just canola oil. You can use olive oil if you like, or even pan spray. And I'm just going to lightly oil the top. And I want to try to keep some of that gas in there. So I'm just pressing this down gently, and then just gently kind of pulling, slapping it against the table to stretch it instead of knocking out the gas. And then I'm going to stretch it again the opposite way. We're trying to get kind of like an oval here for the roll. Okay? Something like that. Just like that. Okay? Now, a little bit more oil on top. And we're going to take a rolling pin, and in 3 sections, we're going to create 3 sections. We're going to roll 2 times almost to the table and pressing hard, and just kind of roll that right off so you get that really nice indentation. This is the traditional shape of the Telera roll. Okay, it keeps it from puffing up a lot. It's easier to handle. Okay, do you see that? And then just be very gentle when you go pick that up and put that on your tray. Now I have a sheet pan with silpat. You can use parchment, and that would be fine. Okay, so I'll show you one more. A little bit of flour on the table. Oil on your hands, and then just start to press that down. You can even start stretching it a little bit, and then grab it. Just be careful. If your dough is too stiff, you might need to let it rest a little longer. And this is one reason why, you know, we want like a nice soft dough. So you got to be careful you don't put too much flour in there. Don't be afraid if it seems a little soft. That's going to create a really nice soft dough on the inside. All right, a little bit of oil. And then again, 2 times, create 3 sections, and just kind of roll that pin right off. And you want to press down fairly hard to try to keep that shape and keep those indentations in the rolls. Okay, all right. I'm gonna do the rest of these. I'm gonna let these proof for about an hour, and then I'll show you how they proofed before we bake them. The rolls, they've doubled in size. They're really nice and soft. Okay, and now I'm just going to brush these with a little bit of egg white. If you want, you can use whole egg. This will still give it a nice shine. Just be very gentle with it though, because you don't want to knock that gas out. Okay. Now we're going to bake these 400-degree oven. We're going to take about 12 minutes. Okay, so the rolls are done. Okay, so you see the shape. They're in 3 sections. So this took 15 minutes, depending on your oven, the size of your rolls. Okay, and then after this, I'm going to do the braised pork shoulder with milk and orange juice.